I don't have to tell you that hiring right now is basically a shit show. It is so difficult. There are so many job opportunities out there, especially for therapists, that for every one person looking, that person has like 10, 15, 20 potential offers. So the question is, how do you separate yourself? How do you get in there to shine so those people can potentially come to you? And the second problem, that because of inflation, because of what's going on in the world right now and in our country, how do we afford to provide some of the salaries that these people are wanting? And, they got tons of debt and education, they got inflation and all that. So, we understand that they want them, but how do we afford them? So what I want to share with you is just 3 things that clients of mine have done. I've been working with clients around the hiring and retention for many, many years now. So I just want to share a few things that they have done and how you can do some of those things right now. They're not difficult, but it does, of course, take some effort and know-how. So let's just jump right into it. Number 1 is know what you can afford. This is an important one because too many times I hear owners like, well, Jamey, I can't compete with the bigger companies out there. I can compete what they're paying. And then I ask the question, well, how much can you afford to pay? And then I get blank stares. So as business owners, we have to do a couple things. 1, we have to be clear on what we can afford. I'll give you a couple guidelines here. So typically, ideally, 3 times salary is what you are looking for your return on investment. And yes, I said the word investment because you have to look at your staff, especially your revenue producing therapists, as investments, right? So what does 3 times mean? 3 times means, let's say for simple math, you pay someone $75,000 a year, you would expect to get back from them seeing patients and generating revenue $225,000 per year. Now, if you can keep it within that 3 multiple, that 3 times, that should be able to cover their benefits, rent, other expenses, your overhead, basically. If the number falls too far below 3 times, there may or may not be enough money to cover the other things. Plus, don't let me forget, you're covering profit as well. Obviously, if that number is higher, better for you. So we have to understand, well, what is the amount that they can generate? What is the amount that you expect? So let's say you have someone that is, let's say you're making $100 an hour, or they're making $100 per visit, and you're expecting them to see 60 visits a week. So 60 times 100, 6,000 a week. For easy math, we'll just say that's 25,000 a month, and that's 300,000 a year. So assuming they hit their target of 60 visits and assuming you're getting $100 per visit, you can actually afford to pay them $90,000 to $100,000. And that should be enough money that you're able to cover all of your expenses and plus take home a decent profit for this person. But if you didn't know that, you might just say, well, I've always paid $75,000 and I'm not going to go any higher because I can't afford it, which isn't true. So you really got to get clear on what you can afford based on your business model. Now, what you may find out is that your business model, let's say you're doing 1 patient an hour at $100. Well, all of these would cut in half. You can see 30 patients a week at $100, which would be 3,000. This is 6,000. Would be 3,000 a week times 4 would be 12,000 a month. Well, times 12, which would be 144,000. Well, now you're looking at potentially someone maybe 50,000, and you're not going to hire a therapist at $50,000 a year. So really looking at your business model may bring up other issues that you're having. And I've seen this so often with other business owners. When we start diving into what you can afford, they realize their business model is not profitable enough. That no matter what they pay, it's just not going to get enough profit back into the business. And basically what happens is you hire someone, even if they do what you ask them to do, there's still no money in the bank. Your bank account is still in the red. You are still struggling, not taking home the money that you want, which is causing tons of stress in your life and in other areas. So this is number one. Get clear on that. Number two, expand your reach. You can't just put an ad on Indeed and hope and pray that it's going to send, people are going to apply for it. First of all, hope and pray is never a strategy. Well, maybe if you're in church or whatever, synagogue, it might be, but it's not a strategy in business. So we need a strategy, and a strategy has to be expanding your reach. What does this mean? Just like marketing. Marketing is about creating awareness out in the world, awareness of that you exist, awareness to attract prospects of what problem you're solving and what you can help them with. The same thing is in this area of hiring. We have to expand our reach. We have to open up every door, uncover every rock. So a couple things you can do is one strategy is a LinkedIn strategy. A LinkedIn is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week networking site. Network and connect with other therapists. They might be not interested in your position right now, but it's okay because they have networks. And if you can get a good rapport and good relationship, you can then ask, hey, is there someone you can know? We're looking to fill this position. We're looking for this type of person. So LinkedIn, you want to continue doing that. A longer term strategy would be a student strategy. Connect with schools in your area. Offer to bring students in. Reach out to past students. Reach out to past candidates that that maybe you've interviewed and it wasn't the right situation. Other things you can do is rely on your current staff. Look, it's all about networks. Your current staff has networks. If you have a staff of a lot of therapists, then they know other therapists. So have them reach out to their networks and see if someone might be interested. Of course, you can give them a little referral fee. That's okay. A little incentive for doing this. So reaching out to your staff. You can also reach out to your state associations. So reaching out to your state association, believe it or not, they will give you a list of every therapist that's registered in the state. Now, they won't give you their email address, so you can't email them, but you can go to their house or their business. I always find that kind of odd that they won't do that, but whatever. So you can actually get their home addresses or their business addresses, and you can send them a letter. Send them a personal letter, describe. Nobody gets mail anymore these days. Your letter will show up. They will open that letter, and maybe you'll say something that'll attract to them. So using state associations. And then, of course, there's your past patients. There's people that you've seen. They have networks. They have kids. They have friends and family and neighbors. You must expand your reach and maximize your effort. You have to increase your effort to really attract a good pool of candidates. And once you do, doesn't mean you're going to hire them. You might have hired and offered people offer letters, and they might say, oh, thank you so much. You guys are really great, but I already took another offer somewhere else. So we have to understand how we are going to meet their needs. Look, we've always had to meet people's needs, but the tides have turned. And right now there are infinitely more jobs out there than there are therapists. That means the supply and demand has flipped. And we need to make sure we're meeting our people's needs. So then the question becomes, well, what do they want? Well, I did some research, and there was a Gallup poll that talked about one of the things that they want no surprise by the way, is more money. They want more money. And that included benefits in the survey that they did. Because of course, there's more expenses. It costs more to travel to work. Of course, they have the loans. Maybe they're purchasing a house or a car. Everything has gone up, and they're looking for their employer to increase their salaries. And you have to know what you can afford up here, because it might be more than you think, which means you can attract really good candidates and hold on to the people that you really like. So understanding how to increase, understanding that they want to increase their revenue. But it's more than that. It's not just salaries or nothing. They're also looking for recognition. They're looking for recognition. They're looking for gratitude. They're looking to feel appreciated, right? We're human beings. We don't want to work in a place that we don't feel recognized doing good work, that we don't feel like we're being appreciated and grateful to what we're doing. This is huge right here. And by the way, this doesn't cost anything. This is a mindset. This is about you choosing to say, this is the type of business and practice that we have. So recognition, gratitude, appreciation. And then another thing in meeting their needs that I read is people want to be a part of something. I call that being on purpose. They want to have a purpose to what they do. Yes, we talk about quality care, but do you back it up? Do you share with them your story, your vision, your values? Do you give them a place that they can really sink their teeth into? Because they want to not just do work, they can do work anywhere. They can treat patients anywhere. But why should they join you? That's the interesting point that you have to answer. So I believe that if you focus on your vision and values and your story, how you got started, what this is about, what does this work mean to you, what they can expect when they join your team. When you do that, you're going to connect with people. And as long as you pay fairly and do some of these other things, you will have a better chance of hiring good people to your team. So there's 3 things that you can do right now to begin recruiting and attracting better people or more people to your job offers, and also having them accept offers. This has worked for many clients of mine and tons of people that have told me that they've used these strategies and has worked for them. And I hope, because hope is not a strategy, and I know that if you incorporate them, they will work for you too. Until next time, Jamey Schrier, look forward to seeing you then.